Alright, welcome back to Your Dad's Playlist.
Good morning. We come with a special guest today.
Justin, yes sir. Let's go.
Oh, goodness. We will be discussing MTV's history and performances. Thank you for tuning into Your Dad's Playlist.
A special thanks goes to Silver Sky Woodworking for their support of our channel. Without them, it would be impossible to record this. If any of our listeners need custom furniture, accent walls, cutting boards, or custom cabinets, they should head over to ViridianNews.org and click on the link for Silver Sky. I repeat, it would be impossible to record without them.
And we're always looking for new sponsors, so let us know on ViridianNews.org if you'd like to be a part of our work and reach our audience with us.
Justin, would you like to read the next one?
Yeah.
We would like to thank Miss Kelly Moss, mother of Jake and Jack Moss on the varsity football team, for donating as a great patron.
We need your help, and we appreciate any donation, sponsorship, and listeners of Viridian News. Please check out our GoFan on our Viridian News website.
Alright, so enough of that. Back to MTV's. Let's do a little brief history of MTV.
First, what is MTV? So MTV, just for those who don't know, was a channel that ran 24 hours straight of music videos or music content hosted by video disc jockeys or VJs who would introduce the music videos and go over and joke and ramble between the music videos.
Have y'all seen The Last Dragon?
The Last Dragon? No, I haven't.
Okay, so there's this one, there's a girl on there, and she's, one of the main characters. Her name is Vanity, and she, does this, it's, a thing they did in the 80s where, they would have a bunch of people on TV just dancing to different, popular songs, and she was, the DJ, and that's kind of what MTV reminds me of a little bit.
I feel like I've heard of that before, but,
that movie's good.
Well, so our tale of MTV starts on August 1st, 1981, with the debut of Video Killed the Radio Star, founded, and the channel was founded by Robert Pittman, Mark Booth, Tom Freston, Judy McGrath, Fred Seibert, and John Sykes. This was the first. Soon as midnight hit August 1st, they debuted Video Killed the Radio Star, which, debatable whether or not that's true and whether or not that holds up in the future. It is definitely a monumental moment with a statement to say.
Yeah. Going to September 14th, 1984, the first MTV Music Awards, the VMAs, ended up becoming a annual tradition. And it basically was just like any other award show today. It's just showcasing the best videos and music, giving awards out, and I kind of that's when they started that for MTV.
Seemed a lot more fun, I guess, a lot more grounded and reckless than the average, award ceremony. This isn't the Grammys where the most notable thing ever happens is that somebody gets a large number of Grammys. These are
honestly, when I think of the Grammys, I think of as old people music.
This was kind of
a music what's it called? A music award thing. But for MTV, it was fresh. It was new. It was just different.
Between August of 1985, May of 1986, Viacom, that giant, large, miserable business conglomerate, bought MTV, resulting in a drastic change of the content. But it was a positive thing, at least at first. Specialty music blocks categorized by genre, such as Yo MTV Raps and Headbangers Ball, which were for hip-hop and heavy metal, respectively, those started popping up. You had game shows start popping up, reality shows, animated cartoons like Beavis and Butthead started showing up, shifting the main focus from just music to all of youth pop culture.
Yeah. And so you go into August 1st, 1987, MTV Global, formerly MTV Europe, launches.
Bringing music videos to the international audience. And in March 16th, 1992, the first of the MTV Unplugged series releases featuring Squeeze, Sid Straw, and Ellie Easton.
Can you explain, MTV Unplugged?
MTV Unplugged was this fun little show they did where they would get a live audience and have a show, and you would have bands perform some of the most popular songs, some originals. Maybe they'll cover some songs without the use of any electric instruments, all acoustic, despite the microphone, obviously. Some real, big, heavy hitters from that era are John Bon Jovi, Pearl Jam, Nirvana.
Didn't we talk about Alice in Chains?
We did. We mentioned Alice in Chains MTV Unplugged.
Yeah, okay.
And actually, I learned a sad fact about that later. He was so doped up during the show that they had to repeat every song like 7 times to get it right. He kept stumbling over and forgetting.
That's crazy.
So if you remember last episode, go check that out. Lane Staley was a mess.
Yes, we talk about Alice in Chains. We talk about
we talked about Fleetwood Mac. We talked about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, so I go check that out.
Mid 1990s, this is the beginning of the end. Most of MTV's daily schedule was taken up by non-music video content, sparking criticism and controversy. Music television was no longer music television, or at least it was the beginning of the end. And August 1st, 1996, MTV2 launches. Because of this controversy, it's losing its video content. MTV2 launches, hoping to recapture that original love and allure of MTV. It would suffer the same fate as the original by 2005. Now, Justin, here's your next bulletin point. This is the one you wanted to mention. August 29, 2011. What debuts? Ridiculousness.
One of the greatest entertainment shows of all time. You have these people watching these videos in front of an audience, watching these people hurt themselves, but doing dumb stuff, injuring themselves. Like, you can see it with animals, you can see it with humans.
Yeah, they went on Twitter and stuff. They found just what was big in the day, and they sat and they watched it. You had that girl, Chanel West Coast, I think her name was, with the overly obnoxious laugh.
Yeah.
Every 5 seconds they would bring in the celebrity guest to watch it. Rob Dyrdek, this man had MTV eating out of the palm of his hand. Genius businessman. That is all that airs on MTV now is ridiculousness. 24 hours.
Stand it.
It is rare you find actual music videos on MTV anymore.
Bring back the music videos. I can't watch ridiculousness
I
anymore.
would say
because it is ridiculous.
I like the MTV videos, but ridiculousness is just top tier. Ridiculous is what's
I love
making the
ridiculousness.
money.
I grew up watching it. When it aired, actually. But I think another one thing people don't talk about the decline of MTV is I think YouTube definitely helped kill it. Because in the 80s, you wanted to watch music videos. First off, you had to go to MTV because MTV was like the first to do it. But throughout the 80s and the 90s, you wanted to watch music videos. You couldn't just boot up your little computer. You had to sit down and watch MTV. You go to school the next day. Hey, did you see that MTV performance? It was crazy. It was wild. Now I can, even in the making of this video, I went and watched a couple MTV performances on YouTube because there's no need to flicker to MTV itself to wait for a music video when I could just look up the music video I want right here. I mean, not many people talk about it, but YouTube killed MTV in a way.
I mean, that's what Netflix, Hulu, all of those streaming services do. Like, they take, all, the viewers and stuff away from cable.
It's the death of cable and the death of Blockbuster all over again.
Yeah. So, going into the impact of MTV on music and pop culture, it brought success to newcomers into the industry and breathed new life into seasoned veterans. And it revolutionized and popularized music videos.
That's a big point right there, is the music videos. Music videos were very few and far between pre-MTV. MTV comes around, it is all of a sudden looking good on MTV, looking at least noticeable, unique, or good. It became just as important as your music sounding good, which is an insane statement in an industry that is music. Video was equally as important. It became an art form. It was a film.
If we're thinking of whenever the first televisions came out, JFK and
JFK and Nixon.
Yes, they had a presidential debate, and a lot of people said, "Oh, JFK won because we saw him on TV and he looked so poised, and the other guy looked very old and very tired."
JFK had his makeup done, his hair was done well. He wore a bold suit that stood out against the background of the thing. Nixon went in. He was tired. He was grumpy. He was old looking. He wasn't handsome. No makeup and a gray suit that blended in the background.
Yeah.
It is all about the video. Video gets your message across. That is a great comparison.
Yes, and if you think of like the people that listen to it on the radio that didn't have a TV, they're like, "Oh, Nixon won because he just sounded so sure of himself."
Yeah.
And he's just very like, you know, like they think of JFK as like a little kid.
Yeah,
even though he was in his 40s.
Video brings a new dimension to it.
Yeah, video is so important, and that's what was so important to these like new artists.
MTV, and on top of influencing video, they significantly influenced American culture in the 80s and 90s by setting up new fashion trends that, you know, they're bold, they're outgoing, they mirrored the creativity and the energy of the era in its music. It popularized rap and hip-hop and breakdancing. That street dancing became super popular because of MTV and changing how music was consumed through music videos. Without MTV, there is no... Well, I wouldn't say there is no, but it definitely wouldn't have been easy. No Biggie, no Outkast, no... All those big hitting hip hop creators of the 80s and 90s definitely were helped set up by MTV.
And honestly, it reminds me of that movie, like, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. It's like, there's called Dance TV, not MTV.
Yeah.
And they would just, like, literally just dance to music and stuff. And they were, like, more of, like, not gymnastics, but they would do tumbling and things like that.
Yeah.
And they would just, like, I don't know, like, it was amazing. That movie is really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yes.
Best performances at the MTV Awards.
Starting off, Eminem, Slim Shady, of course. Gotta mention that.
Eminem is an icon. His music videos, for the Slim Shady music video was absolutely huge. And back in the 2000s, he was that guy. He was bolsterous. He was too vile for the people. You had parents lobbying to get rid of him. He was too good. And then I think the next one encapsulates MTV culture the most is Nirvana's 1992 Lithium performance. They were the newcomers in 1992. They were the best new musical artists. They go up there, they play their hit Lithium, an amazing song. It is full of the energy. You had people in the pits grabbing Kurt's ankles. They were that close to him. They were jumping on stage and running between Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic and diving off the stage onto each other.
We were watching the video and like one of them just like jumps onto the drums. And I was just like, what?
The end of the video, and this is what I guess one thing Nirvana became known for, popularized by Jimi Hendrix, but Nirvana became really known for it in the 90s. They destroyed their instruments. Halfway through, like, towards the end of the song, Chris Novoselic takes his bass and he throws it in the air and falls on his back and he starts smashing it. End of the song, Kurt goes and he takes the neck of his guitar and he's jabbing the speakers and slamming them. He picks up a speaker and throws it and body slams the drums. It's incredible. I love watching it. They do it all the time, too. They do it on late-night TV shows. They do it all the time. That was a big thing of the grunge era. It was, I don't know what it was, destroying your instruments.
Going into Madonna, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Missy Elliott, that was like a very impactful performance. Not only because these are like some big
name hitters,
female like stars, of course, like Madonna. Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, they were friends, but they also, I think, MTV kind of sparked this, that they had like, it was like people would either choose between being a Britney Spears fan or being a Christina Aguilera fan. And it was like you were either one or the other. Just like it was like Prince or
Michael.
Yeah. So it's just something like that, and I think MTV kind of sparked that as well, and they kind of probably use that to their advantage to get more viewers,
Yeah.
And so during the performance, let's go look at this real quick so that I am not messing this up.
So you're not lying and
I don't want to So I'm going on to slantmagazine.com. So their 18th one is obviously Madonna, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, whatever. And so they're talking about the song Like a Virgin. And so Madonna played the groom to Britney Spears, and Christina Aguilera was the not-so-blushing brides for this gender-bending performance. And so this performance was so controversial because apparently one Christian group led by millions, it said they led millions of impressionable youth down the grease pole of not goodness.
The thing about the show is it was insane. They're doing their thing, and this is 2003.
Yeah.
They're sitting there, and oh my God, Madonna, Britney Spears, and Christina Aguilera start tongue kissing open mouth on stage. They start tongue kissing open mouth on stage, back and forth, and I can imagine the parents in outrage when they saw this, clutching their pearls.
I just imagine like a mom like walking by and they're like, "Oh, what are you watching, honey?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm watching these two women kiss on TV."
I'm watching 3 women make out on TV.
Yeah.
I can imagine these parents clutching their pearls.
Oh, they were.
MTV is leading my children to Satan. Look at them, they're kissing. Justin, do you have any thoughts on the kissing women on MTV?
Yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, that's a shocker out of nowhere.
That's what it was for. That is.
They did that on purpose.
And actually, I would give this one also a runner-up with Nirvana. That is so MTV. It is so bold and provocative. It's the beginning of that Kanye and Jay-Z song. They don't. It's provocative. They don't know what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people talking, gets them moving.
And that's what the whole of MTV was always about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I gotta say, like, I feel like sometimes people do too much, and I feel like that was a moment where they're doing too much. But I see what they're doing. It's basically like a sales pitch.
That's the thing. You feel like they're doing too much. That's the point.
That is the point.
They want you to think that.
Yeah.
That's the artful thing about it, and that's the message of the era.
Oh, we got John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora singing "Living on a Prayer" and "Wanted Dead or Alive." I love John Bon Jovi. Have a lot of his records. Very, very good. And so like both of those songs are. Like, how do I explain this? So, "Living on a Prayer" is very, like, upbeat, very, like, hope, not really, it's hopeful. But
it's energetic.
It's very energetic. But then you have "Wanted Dead or Alive," and it's just kind of like...
That's a slower one.
And, like, it's just, like, very... Yeah, it's just very, like, solemn and very peaceful, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And that was in 1989. And I want to say that was an unplugged one as well.
I think that predates Unplugged. It does. It predates Unplugged.
Okay.
Notable music videos. We're talking about MTV. We have to talk about the music videos. Billie Jean and especially Thriller by Michael Jackson were absolutely huge. Those were groundbreaking. Thriller particularly was a 14-minute epic short film with references to zombie media, horror media. It is awesome. It has won film awards as a music video. It was groundbreaking. I'm sure everybody sits at some point around Halloween, cuts on Thriller, and watches the music video again. At least I do.
My dad showed it to me, and I had nightmares when I was little. I used to get scared a lot, though, by random stuff.
The first time watching that music video, I was entertained.
Oh, yeah.
And I also love the song.
It's so good. It is a great song. I remember when I first watched it, I was probably around 4 or 5 years old. I was horrified. I thought it was so cool, but I was horrified, especially when the girl locks herself in her room and Michael starts breaking through the wall or the door.
I think that's one of the best music videos.
I think so as well.
Out there.
Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel is the most viewed music video, at least on MTV as it was airing, because of its groundbreaking. It had claymation, it had stop motion, it had all these fun little effects that got the people talking. Freak on a Leash by Korn was, its music video is incredible. It is almost entirely live action. And when you think music videos, you think, especially with the new metal 2000s era, you have Jonathan Davis standing next to the microphone, waving his hands, doing his scatting, as the bullet flies around the room, narrowly missing all the band members. It is incredible.
I don't like that title.
Freak on a Leash?
Yeah, I don't like that at all, actually. I don't
Makes it stand out, though.
Yeah.
That's Korn for you. Korn
needs to not.
Korn needs to more, except for their weird dubstep era. We don't talk about that one. Vogue by Madonna was another huge one.
Take on Me.
Take on
One of
Me.
the best ones.
Yeah.
Still referenced
that
all
music
the time.
video. That music video is amazing.
It's just,
too.
I like music videos that like tell a story too.
It tells a story.
Yeah.
And
it's just so interesting. Like you go into like a little comic book.
artistically, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, 2009, a couple years later, you have Single Ladies by Beyonce.
Yeah.
Every single person and their mother has seen this music video.
Yeah.
It's iconic. It's another one of those iconic ones that is referenced
It's
in
like
media
a
all
women,
the time.
like anthem.
It is an anthem. And the first band music video, MTV went through a wave of, at some point they started bowing down. Oh yeah, you got to do the little hand wave.
Yeah.
No, at some point MTV started, unfortunately, bowing down to the culture. In the mid-90s, they banned a lot of music videos for their religious depictions or their anti-war messages, which kind of defeats the purpose of the artistry. But the first banned music video would be Body Language by Queen. I think it was 1992, I want to say. No, 82. Sorry, 82. They go and this... If you know the band Queen, they're provocative. They're comfortable with who they are, and they're provocative and homosexual icons. Body Language by Queen was banned for its homoerotic undertones, and the presence of human flesh, I say in quotes, as all the band members were clothed fully. So I'm not sure what that's about, but this music video was banned for its homoerotic undertones, which I guess is kind of a statement of the time where these things, even though they were so crazy and provocative, these the youth of the time, the culture of the time, it's still things like being gay or being lesbian, bisexual, these things weren't fully accepted yet.
Yeah.
So.
But I think that's just what MTV was trying to do all along. It's just trying to like bring in different perspectives and music, bring in like crazy things, not only to like get people to watch. I think it was that's just what their statement was.
Yeah, just it's almost hypocritical of them to be this bold, loud, boisterous thing, but ban things that don't fit the status quo when they're trying not to fit the status quo, banning things like.
Yeah, that's what kind of confused me. I was like, why are you doing
banning things like homosexuality, transsexual or transgender
They
people.
might not have had any choice though.
That's true.
I mean?
They were definitely lobbied. Religious depictions or anti-war messages. They were definitely lobbied at the time by groups to ban those things.
Yeah.
Like one music video comes to mind banned for its religious depictions is Jesus Christ Posed by Soundgarden. Which I thought was it depicts a lot of time. It depicts people like flashes of a cross and people on a cross with gas masks. There's all sorts of different.
Yeah.
Which I mean I don't think that's particular. There are definitely worse ones to be banned than Jesus Christ Pose. It's a great song, but just the banning of things on MTV was strange. The legacy of MTV overall, though, I think the legacy of MTV was incredible. Music videos, we would not be where we are without them, like in the music industry. It opened up a whole new faceted genre. And I guess now music videos aren't as big as they used to be.
I don't think so, honestly. And like music videos now are just like, I don't know, they remind me of Troy Bolton whenever he's in like the school and he's like, guys, like I'm so depressed and sad because I can't have my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's just like that like type of like what is that called? videography. Sorry.
Yeah.
And like the different shots and stuff, and just like the way he's like hitting the wall and like.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just what it is.
I will
it's
say,
not like as dramatic anymore.
I will say there are some that are definitely still dramatic. If you remember a couple years ago, Lil Nas X was huge.
Oh yeah.
What song was that again?
Was it
He was pregnant.
Monterio or something?
The one where he was grinding on Satan.
Yeah, that's Monterio.
That is what MTV was about. That is it in the modern day. And you remember how people reacted to that? They thought that was the worst thing ever.
Yeah. Well, he also made his Blood Satan shoe.
Blood Satan.
Was terrible.
It's the provocativeness. He is bringing it, his mission was to gain attention from it by see the way people are shaking their head or saying it's terrible. That's the point.
Yeah.
It is the point.
My eyes were scarred.
Personally, I love that. But and overall, I do think it has died. Music video culture has died a good bit. We're just kind of also used to music having videos, and a lot of time, especially with the dominance of hip hop nowadays, or I wouldn't even say hip hop, rap music,
hip hop, these new artists.
Hip hop, like back in the days of Biggie and Pac, that the music videos were great. Now you have things like and just the generic music video of they're waving their guns and they're of course waving their guns, showing the women doing the drugs, things like that.
Yeah, like one artist that comes to mind that could possibly bring back the I would say lore to MTV, like Playboy Cardi with the
Cardi.
Yeah.
Cardi's good with music videos. I also think Kendrick is very good with music videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that is MTV. That is the brief history of MTV, the impact of MTV, notable MTV moments, just the whole kit and caboodle with MTV.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for listening.
Not sure what we're going to do next episode, but stay tuned because it's going to be crazy because that's what we do every time.
Who knows? Who knows?
And I'm sure your dad watched one of these MTV videos.
Absolutely.
Trust.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for coming on, Justin.
Thank y'all for having me.
Of course, King.
All right. See you again next time.
Goodbye. Mwah, mwah.